You have to have all those gaps covered up real quick. They give you a wide look underneath there with the defensive tackles. They get real wide. There's a big hole.
Harrington being pressured, puts it up, and it is almost intercepted by Sam Brandon. Went off his hands. Well, thoughts about them putting it up this late in the half and still in their own territory?
Well, the reason they have to is because they burned all their timeouts early, Sam. They can't stop the clock. So they can't run the ball downfield and mix the run in. But look at the rush and the stunts they get up here right in the face of Harrington. 3 of the 4 defensive linemen on top of Harrington. That's why he had to throw that ball on a huge arc, and it was overthrown and out of bounds.
4 wide receivers in for the Lions. 10 seconds remaining in the half. And the handoff inside away by Coburn. Nice run by Coburn. Still spinning, gets to midfield.
And they can't stop the clock.
And that'll do it.
Yeah, see, that's the tough thing. Offense burned one early. Defense burned one because they didn't have the right personnel in the field. If they had one left there, they could have run another play and kicked a field goal.
19-yard pickup for Avon Coburn as the first half comes to an end. The Visa halftime report is coming up next. Don't go away.
The season right now, we'll get you caught up on the highlights and scores.
All right, Jake the Snake, coming off a big Monday night game versus the Raiders. But Joey Harrington says, C. Rogers, #1 draft choice out of Michigan State, 33-yard touchdown, 7-0 Lions. Back comes Plummer, rolls right, hits the future Hall of Fame tight end Shannon Sharp, 1-yard touchdown, and it's 14-10 at the half. Bill Parcells said hello to Kevin Maywhite. All-pro center for the Jets, I know. But it is Quincy Carter to the second-year receiver Antonio Bryan out of Pittsburgh. This touchdown of 13 yards was reviewed in the press box, confirmed touchdown. It's 14-3. Cowboys at the half. Atlanta, Carolina. Jake Delhomme, 5-yard touchdown. Ricky Cole on the post route. Touchdown, 17-0. Carolina over the Falcons at the half.
Chiefs nursing a 3-0 lead over the Ravens. Jamal Lewis under 50 yards in the first half, as well as Priest Holmes. Chargers 21-14, and the Vikings just spanked the 49ers. Big day for Gus Frerotte and for Randy Moss. Rams 37-13 over the Cardinals. It was Bolger at the helm and Lamar Gordon doing the job with the 1-2 punch there. Eagles with their first victory of the season. McNabb back to his old self, scooting out of there. And the Redskins sole possession of first place with that victory today. They are now 3-1, and the Texans come back on a mistake by the rookie Byron Leftwich to win it, and the Steelers drop one to the Titans by the score of 30-13. McNair continuing to impress, and the Bengals get their first victory of the season with Marvin Lewis as the head coach. First victory. Some of you will be going to Localoos. The others will be coming back to listen to the Blonde Bomber do his thing. That's right. This.
Can't wait.
And that's where it was, and we got to play ball. It's as simple as that. We talked about wanting to be more balanced coming into this game. You've had some success running the ball. It's set up to your scores.
Well, we do need to be balanced, and I think we have been. We got to score more points. Their offense has been terrific with Jake Plummer. He's got the hot hand. We got to cool him off a little bit.
Thank you very much, Coach. Appreciate it. Back up to you guys.
All right, thanks, David. Hot hand. Jake Plummer missed his first pass.
That was
hit 16 straight since.
I'd say that's pretty hot. You know, and also a guy that's hot is obviously Steve Mariucci. On a couple calls, he was disappointed they didn't get a pass interference, offensive pass interference call on the touchdown early on. But, you know, more importantly, I think that burning those timeouts early, that to me, that was poor use of your time on the sidelines. The coaches have to be abreast of that. You shouldn't have to burn defensive timeouts. They could have used those timeouts on the end of that last drive to score some points. Hey, all said about it, they're still in this game, only down by 4, and they have some yards on the ground, which is what they need to make this offense come alive.
All right. At halftime, one of the great tackles in Denver Broncos history and NFL history, Gary Zimmerman, was honored, put into the Ring of Fame here in Denver. He helped lead them to 2 Super Bowl victories. Did a great job blocking for John Elway. Gary Zimmerman, his number retired and his name put up in the Ring of Fame here in Denver. The Broncos will receive the kickoff to start the second half.
You know, too, Sam, that diving play that Jake extended his arm, that's the same thing he did 2 weeks ago that caused that slight shoulder separation.
And when he went out of
that exact same motion. Wondering if it didn't do anything to it. Hopefully it didn't.
Now, let's go back to the sideline and pick up some information from David Treadwell. David.
You guys might have noticed right before the half, the Broncos' emotional leader, Al Wilson, went off. He was merely kicked in the shin. He'll be back on the field in the second half. Back up to you guys.
There was some concern. Thanks, David. There is Al Wilson on the bench. The offense starts from the 20-yard line after the kick through the end zone by Jason Hansen. Big first half for Shannon Sharp of the Broncos.
And Lee as well.
Rod Smith and Ed McCaffrey open up with the wideouts. Ruben Drones and Mike Anderson in the backfield. The play fake by Plummer. Throws short to over the head of Ruben Drones, the fullback, coming out of the backfield. So there goes that streak of 16 straight completions. Ends with that incompletion.
And he had him wide open, too. I mean, that's a beautiful play, the beautiful play design. And they're always able to sneak either the tight end or the fullback out off of that zone action run. And the bootleg behind it. That throw, I'm just wondering, Sam, because that was the same motion extending the football with Jake that he did 2 weeks ago that he hurt his shoulder.
We'll keep an eye on it. Anderson, the long setback. Two tight ends are in. Carswell and Sharp. Rod Smith goes in motion. Straight ahead, Mike Anderson. With power, makes it up across the 26-yard line. Jake Plummer with some great hookups in that first half. Short, play action, bootlegs. Finding Rod Smith. Got good protection. Took off when the opening was there. That was a 19-yard run. 185 yards, 2 touchdown passes. 3 wide receivers in. On 3rd and 4. The handoff to Anderson. He stopped. Good work up front by the Lions. James Hall leads the way for the Lions, and it's 3 and out on the first possession of the second half for the Broncos. Good job by the Detroit Lions defense.
The one thing they're doing, the Detroit Lions defense, when you take a look, they're playing very tight on the offensive line. And I don't mean tight to the ball. I mean they're not spread out. Everybody's bunched down tight so that they can grab those bodies and not let them get a push.
Second punt of the game for Denver. Mike O'Nore gets it away. Oz Hakeem from the 35 took the handoff from Dre Bly, and Hakeem gets knocked down at the 42.
Who else? Ian Gold.
Ian Gold, who was a great special teams player for 2 years before he became a starter at linebacker, still does it on specials.
The punter gets rocked here a little bit. Everybody's getting knocked around on this front here. And you know what? It's a lot of emotion gathered in at halftime. The Lions were upset with calls. The Broncos upset on how they played.
Remember how great the last day of school was? That's what getting away on a fun fair feels like. They're everyday low fares to your favorite vacation spots that start at just $49.
You are now free to move about the country.
Miller Lite is half the carbs of Bud Light. Miller Lite is a third less carbs than Coors Light. Miller Lite is the gold medal winner of the World Beer Cup. Now that's great taste. Let's go in.
That woman deserves her revenge.
On October 10th, go for the kill.
You didn't think it was going to be that easy for a second there? Yeah, I kind of did.
Kill Bill.
Silly rabbit.
Rated R.
They said its off-road capabilities verged on overkill.
Tow rag.
They said others may be as quick, capable, and handle as sharply, but few can match it on all of the above.
Tow rag.
They said it was everything you could want in a luxury SUV, but for 20 grand less. In fact, the only thing the experts couldn't say
Touareg. Touareg.
was the name.
Touareg.
Introducing the Touareg, easily named Car and Driver's Best Luxury SUV for 2003.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
Back in Denver, Lions on offense for the first time second half. Joey Harrington 5 for 11, 62 yards in the first half. 1 touchdown to Charles Rogers, 33 yards. Olandis Gary bounces off one man. A hit by Nick Ferguson, who's making his second NFL start at safety in his career. He's replacing the injured Kenoy Kennedy, who is inactive today.
He's got to come up and take on a very angry Orlandis Gary, or at least an Orlandis Gary that wants to let people know, hey, I'm still here, and I'm still pretty good. He takes the blow there to Nick Ferguson.
Short pickup on the play. Sean Bryson is in at running back. 3 wide receivers for the Lions, and they stop the play. Like a false start against the Lions.
Before the ball is snapped, false start. 61, offense. 5 yards, still second down.
On the veteran Ray Brown. Moves the ball back to the 41-yard line. Brings up 2nd and 11.
Big Carl Mock out there coaching the offensive line, and you can read lips. You can tell that he's not a very happy man. Big Hoss, we used to call him. He looks like Hoss Cartwright, Dan Blocker from Bonanza.
Up inside the Bryson, there's no hole. He's fighting for inches there, and the Broncos shove him back.
You know, I guess we're getting kind of up there in age a little bit. When I asked Dominic Raiola, I said, talk to Dom. I said, hey, Dom. I said, how about Hoss Cartwright? How about Hoss? He looked at me, huh? What? Who's that? I said, Hoss Cartwright, your coach, Carl Mock. He said, yeah, Carl, yeah. I said, didn't you ever see Bonanza? He said, no. No. I guess we're getting old, Sam.
Well, he's from Hawaii.
Well, they
Maybe
still have reruns there. Don't they have cable in Hawaii? There's reruns.
3rd and long, 3rd and 11. Out of the shotgun with 3 wide receivers.
Oh, here they come,
Pressure.
boy.
He gets rid of it, and it is incomplete.
You know what?
Rogers
they
wanted
throw
a flag, and there's
yes.
a flag coming in late.
Absolutely, and that's a good call.
Maybe on Lenny Walls, the cornerback. And it is interference on the Broncos. Broncos' first penalty of the game.
Pass interference, number 35, defense. First down for spot of the foul.
Well, you're going to take a look at Lenny Walls. Look at him. See the body contact right there while the ball's in the air? You know, he's just a big, long, lanky guy, and he couldn't break down. But what was amazing to me is watch Harrington deliver this ball when he knows he's going to get plowed. And that ball was right on the money, too.
Mario Fonafehi with the pressure and the hit. First down Lions at the Broncos 48. The play fake. Harrington wants to go deep. Too high for Charles Rogers. Sam Brandon, the safety, covering on the play.
You know, they just don't have that timing down on the out route yet. You've seen them try to run this a couple times. Watch him. Watch him right here. Watch him going to run this thing, and he's going to take it. He kind of just going to round it off here like this. They just don't have the timing. This is an out. And see how he just kind of rounds it up there like this? They just don't have the timing down. Now, that ball was a little overthrown. But it's the timing that is what makes that out route successful. And 2 young guys don't have their timing down on it yet.
3 wide receivers for the Lions. 5 DBs in for Denver. Harrington has time. Deep over the middle. And it is incomplete. 2 men down there. Charles Rogers and Oz Hakeem. And the ball fell between both. Joey Harrington was a little down, Bill. His Oregon Ducks, after being on the cover of Sports Illustrated, were wiped out by Washington State yesterday. He was really down about that.
Sam, if we're ever on the cover of Sports Illustrated, let's just stay in our bedrooms for the entire week.
If we're ever on the cover of Sports Illustrated, it's a mistake.
Good point by you.
Harrington has been incomplete on his last 5 passes. Throws this one, and he's incomplete again. Overthrew Charles Rogers.
They've really come out and tried to throw the ball all over the field, and they put themselves in these situations 3rd and long. But Joey Harrington, for whatever reason, has been too high. 3 high passes. 1 high after to Charles Rogers, 2 high down when he went downfield, and then that one was high. So that's 3 high passes, 2 high passes after he got whacked.
3rd punt of the game for John Jett. Elf O'Neill is deep for Denver. High punt. O'Neill watches it soar over his head, drop it to 10. Lions have it covered inside the 5, and it rolls to a stop at the 4. Good punt, 44 yards. Good coverage by the Lions. Denver starts deep in their own territory.
Light and day is more than you'll say. Just follow the day. Follow the day and reach for the sun.
Doesn't this bother any of you? The party's completely deserted.
Well, they did not go to 7-Eleven to get more booze.
Can't hear anything.
Neither do I. Let's kick some.
The House of the Dead.
I've been waiting for you.
Rated R starts October 10th.
John Lynch and his mom are coming to your home.
Hey, how you doing? John Lynch, how you doing? Very nice to meet you. Come in, let's go.
And they're bringing dinner. New Campbell's Chunky Grilled Chicken and Sausage Gumbo. Hearty chunks of savory meat, veggies, and rice.
What do you say I autograph?
Sure beats another frozen dinner.
Come on, check out the place. We'll play a little bit.
Mom doesn't like me rough.
Come on, get hit me a little bit.
Have chunky soup for dinner.
That was great, man.
Make it Campbell's instead.
Cameron Diaz is coming to Fox.
She's a fox.
In one of the biggest comedies of all time.
Is that hair gel?
Yeah. A special movie presentation.
Is it the Franco to be?
There's Something About Mary. 7:30, 6:30 Central tonight on Fox.
Baseball playoffs begin Tuesday. Fox is there. The Cubs and the Braves, game 1 Tuesday night. And then Thursday night, game 2, American League Division Series, the Minnesota Twins at the New York Yankees. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. The baseball playoffs on Fox.
Great time of year, isn't it, Sammy?
The best. Quentin Griffin and Ruben Drones in the backfield. It's Griffin behind Drones. Griffin falls forward across the 5 to the 6-yard line. Lions had Bracy Walker in at cornerback, replacing Otis Smith. So the Lions continue to look for some DBs, and we see Bracy Walker in.
Jim, take a look at the linebackers, how deep they are. There's Earl Holmes, Barrett Green. Watch how they attack downhill at the line of scrimmage. That's not getting outside. Those guys are back 5, 6, 7 yards, and they're attacking downhill and blowing up any kind of run game that Denver's trying to bring at them. And the run game is what gets Denver started in all aspects of their offense.
The fake draw. Plummer still in the end zone, throws short. Intended for Dwayne Carswell, the tight end, but he came up short. There was some pressure on Jake Plummer. Dan Wilkinson and Robert Porcher.
You're right about the pressure. It was there. It was right on top of him because that was a play-action pass. Okay, watch the play fake. He fakes the handoff inside here, and these guys don't honor it because you know what happened last time? They stuffed the run. They stuffed the run. So now they're playing the run on the way to the quarterback. And see, that's what happens. That's how you transform offensively or defensively if you can run the ball.
Broncos have to get to the 14 for a first down. They bring in 4 wide receivers. Shannon Sharp goes in motion. Pressure on Plummer. His pass batted down. Dre Bly knocked it down. And another good defensive series for the Lions. 2 in a row to start the second half.
Well, they're coming out and they're giving them different looks. That time they had the 3 down linemen, and then they bring Dre Bly off the slot on a blitz. They creep him down inside, and he comes firing in on the blitz and jumps up and bats the ball down.
Micah Nord 9 yards deep in the end zone. will punt it out. Oz Hakeem is standing in Broncos territory waiting to receive. Moore gets it away, and it's a good punt. Backs Hakeem up to the 43. Tries to get away, couldn't do it.
Big time play.
Great coverage on the play by Willie Middlebrooks. Back up DB, got down in a hurry, stayed with Oz Hakeem. All better today than they have in the previous 3 games.
And that's why they're in this ball game, and they haven't been in the previous 2 games they've played. And you take a look at the numbers the first 3 weeks, rushing yards per game, and today 101, and that's why they're able to open up some of their offense. 16 runs and 14 passes. They're getting a good balance back that Steve Mariucci wanted.
They start from the 43, down by 4 points. Pressure on Harrington. It connects with Oz Hakeem. Drop the ball. It's loose. They dive for it. The scramble on, and I believe the Lions have recovered. Looks like Jeff Backus, the left tackle, he comes up with the ball. Dangerous moment for the Lions as Hakeem lost the football.
Oh, look at the blitz. They bring the blitz here, and that's what leaves the middle of the field open. And that was a great job of Joey Harrington recognizing it, and Hakeem recognizing it and settling down right there. That's the area where the blitzers would have been.
Pickup of 6. Make that 5 on the play. 2nd and 5. 2 tight ends in for the Lions. Straight ahead will land is Gary across midfield, just across midfield. Bring up a 3rd and 3 for the Lions. Monsanto Pope, number 75, made the tackle for Denver.
You know, Denver's defense really hasn't found themselves in this type of situation the first 3 games. Not in a close game, not in a game where they're going to have the team still in the second half pounding at them, coming at them physically, right down the gut at them. You know, normally by now, actually it's been a lot earlier than that, they're in pass rush mode.
Game is broken open. Bryson the lone setback. On 3rd down. Harrington, big rush, gets away, and he's got the first down. Tripped up on the play by Reggie Hayward, but a good run for Joey Harrington for a Lions first down. They spotted at the 45-yard line.
But Mike Shanahan's not very happy.
The big emotional win Monday night. Next week is a big game at Kansas City, and in the middle, the Detroit Lions, and you know the coach was emphasizing it all week.
You can't coach it. You can't teach it. It's a thing of human nature, and that's emotion.
Blitz coming. Harrington throws, and he's got his man, the tight end, Michael Ricks, down to the 30-yard line. 2nd catch of the game for Ricks. Ian Gold with a blitz, but Harrington got rid of it. Well, the flag back.
That play took a lot of time because the blitz came, and the blitz was picked up. And a lot of times when you have time like that, you're going to see a holding flag come out. But boy, did Orlandis Gary step up and pick up that blitz and just drill it.
Chop block here, Bill.
Chop block involving 2 players. Number 51 went low while another blocker was high. 15-yard penalty.
Oh boy.
Repeat first down.
That really hurts. Dominic Raiola, the center, was the man who went low.
A lot of times that happens because a guy's trying to recover. Let's take a look. Dominic Raiola is down, and then the back steps up and hits him high. See, he doesn't know the back Schlesinger is coming up. That's not Dominic Raiola's fault. And as I can't believe I'm sticking up for an offensive lineman, but
I know it's hard. I know it's hard.
He's just taking his guy out, and Schlesinger is meeting him what he thinks the blitz is coming in the middle. It's just a mistake breakdown sometimes. It was nothing intentional.
1st and 25 from the Lions 40. Harrington throws the screen pass to Bryson. And good tackle by Deltha O'Neal at the 39. Let's find out what Dallas is doing in New York against the Jets. JB?
Hey, Sam and Bill, Dallas was looking to increase its 14-3 lead. Quincy Carter scrambling, looking, going deep. going deep. Instead, picked off by Sam Garnes. Intended target was Terry Glenn. The Jets still playing alert football. 14-3, though, Dallas on top. Back to Sam and Bill.
Thanks, JB. How about the tuna?
Can it happen? Can it again?
Oh, I think it can. It's looking like that.
The legend continues to grow, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. From the 39, second and 26, the sack. Mario Fatafehi and Trevor Price take down Joey Harrington.
I talked to you about those stunts that Keith Millard, the pass rush coach, has these guys doing. He's over here. Watch, he takes a step and then loops all the way around while these two absorb the blocks. Millard is a master of running stunts. Millard was a guy who was tall. He could get off the ball, but he was light. And so he had a bunch of sacks, and how he got them is he always had guys run stunts with him to eat up the blockers so that he could loop around free, just like he did right there.
First sack of the game for Denver. Lions back to their own 30, handed off inside to Bryson. And gets up to the 37, and the Lions forced a punt. So what looked like a good drive building for the Lions when Harrington ran for the first down was set back by that chop block penalty on Dominic Raiola, and then a couple of good defensive plays by the Broncos.
They're coming the Lions to punt. Sam, they're coming out of the run way too fast. I think they're getting anxious to establish something, then take advantage of it. But yards per carry right now are huge for Detroit. Stay with it.
Jet with his fourth run of the game. Delta O'Neal at the 24, wrapped up immediately by Roderick Babers. The rookie out of Texas gets down in a hurry. 39-yard punt, no return. Denver on offense when we come back.
By one of the most explosive movies of all time, Scarface on DVD September 30th, rated R. By Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light. And by Nissan and your Nissan dealer.
Back in Denver. Take a look at that offensive line.
Well, take a look at the weights. I mean, that's the most important thing.
How do they get it done?
They are fast and they are in sync. Collectively, they may be the best.
In motion, Mike Anderson. Two tight ends in on first down. Plummer throws short, completes to Rod Smith. Up to the 32-yard line. Picked up about 8 on the play. Fourth catch of the game for Rod Smith.
You know, and they work so well together. They all step when they get the zone scheme going, the zone blocking scheme. Their steps are all in sync. It's like a well-oiled machine. And you watch him in slow motion when they do it on film. It's amazing how well they work together. And Tom Nalen, he is the guy that it all starts with. He sets the front, he identifies what the protection is going to be, and he is fast.
Lions have the rookie James Davison as linebacker, making his NFL debut. Mike Anderson fights his way through the hole, gets up to the 40-yard line for a first down. Brought down by Kalimba Edwards and Corey Harris.
Well, we're talking about that inside zone run. Watch them run this thing. Everybody in unison steps this way. And take a look at the center, Nalen. Watch him get the push up on here and then come up, because the back is going to cut off Nalen. Bang. There he is, right off Nalen's butt, and takes it upfield. He gets the push. They all start one way together, and they get your defense running alongside them. So when your defense is going laterally, that's not a good thing. And the cutback, it'll kill you.
At the 40, Anderson in motion. Empty backfield. Plummer fires and finds Shannon Sharp at the Lions' 40-yard line. His 7th catch of the game. Corey Harris made the stop. 20-yard pickup. And Shannon Sharp having a big game for the Broncos.
And a tight end right down the seam. And that's what you follow a play like a zone running play with, is a seam play. Jake with a lot of time in the pocket. And there's Shannon's just right down the hash marks. Never broke off the hash marks, but the play was set up from the prior play being play action.
7 catches, 74 yards, 1 a touchdown. Quentin Griffin in motion. Once again, it's empty backfield. Short drop and a completion to the other tight end, Dwayne Carswell. One-time Pro Bowler. When Shannon Sharp wasn't here, Dwayne Carswell made the Pro Bowl. Jake Plummer mixing it up and throwing to everybody.
Everybody. If you were down there, Sam, he'd find you. He's hit the fullback, he's hit the tailback, he's hit the tight end, he's hit all three of his receivers. 5 collectively have gathered balls from Jake today.
If he found me, do you think I'd catch it?
Sammy, come on,
Sammy. Thank you, partner.
I wager you all the time.
On second down, the play fake. Plummer rolls, being chased by Porcher. Throws and completes to Rod Smith. A first down at the Lions' 22-yard line. Dre Bly covering. Smith coming back well to the ball.
And I know how you sit there, fans, and you say Detroit fans are saying, well, how come you don't protect them? How come you don't? Because you have to honor that run. You have to honor this over here. Now, see the flow of the defense? That's why. I mean, the run is effective. So your defense has to go that way. Your backside gets tricked all the time by the blocking, and Jake's out the back door. That's why this marriage with this offense and Jake Plummer is going to be unbelievable.
Looks like Dan Neal moved too soon.
He had a different snap
line.
count. He had a different snap count. He was one of those guys in those in the fast classes. You know, the smart guys.
The ball being snapped. Ball start. Number 62. Offense. 5 yards. Still first down.
Back to the 26-yard line. 7th year out of Texas. Dan Neal has played his entire career here in Denver. See the way Plummer has mixed it up. Lally 4 catches, Sharp 7, Smith 5, McCaffrey with a couple, Dwayne Carswell. And Drones in at fullback. Mike Anderson the tailback. The play fake. Plenty of time. The throw is short. It was tipped. And there's a flag on the play. Check the flag out. Holding against Denver. So a couple of penalties here by the Broncos after they were at the Lions 21. See what the Lions decide to do.
Number 62. Offense. 10 yards.
Back to
Repeat
back.
First down.
On Dan Neal. So it's still first down, but now it's 1st and 25.
They got to be very careful because let's go back before the half, okay? They got down there. They marched down the field. They were in field goal position, ready to score and go into halftime with a nice, comfortable lead. They fumble the ball away. Now they get down near red zone again, and they're shooting themselves in the foot. They're moving the ball backwards.
Out to 36. Have to get to the 11 for first down. This is the first down play. 4 wide receivers in. Plummer out of the shotgun. Throws. Incomplete.
That was dangerous.
Dre Bly and Ashley Lally went up for the ball.
And that was a dangerous throw. There wasn't any separation there. Dre Bly had that thing read all the way.
Bly has had an interception in each of the first 3 games and also almost had a 4th. We'll bring up 2nd and 25. The Lions patching together a secondary, and they have hung in there. They had the lead 7-0, and they scored first in this game.
Empty shotgun.
There they go again. 4 wide receivers in with Shannon Sharp. Blitz coming. Quick release outside. Chris Cole slips one man. Gets inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. Bring up a 3rd and long. We've got something, players rolling around and going at one another. Have to be separated by the officials here. Dan Neal was involved again. Last play was a 12-yard pickup for Denver. Robert Porcher involved with Dan Neal on that last one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide receivers, and one of those is actually Shannon Sharp.
Right.
But in this formation, he actually is a wide receiver. He's inside here, but watch what he does. He comes down here and they start blocking. As soon as that is thrown underneath, watch, they block here and they start blocking. That's what the receivers are so good at. That's what bought extra yards on that play. Because if there's receivers aren't blocking, that thing is tackled all the way back where it was caught.
Like a wide receiver screen. Have to get to the 11-yard line for a first down.
They got all kinds of coaches out of the field.
Now again, Detroit with a defensive timeout, Bill.
They didn't match. You can't burn timeouts with your defense. You just can't do it. That's wasted timeouts. That's mismanagement of your sidelines when you're doing that.
Brought to you by Microsoft. Your potential, our passion.
They called the timeout to avoid a penalty.
And very wisely, as you can see, they had 12 men out on the field. They had to burn another timeout. Kurt Schottenheimer sure is strapped with trying to match up with all the personnel and all the injuries and new people on defense.
Wow. Scramble on. Flags went down. Paul jumped across the line. And then
defense, number 96, unabated to the quarterback.
And Plummer dropped the football. That was a wild sequence, but it's on the Lions. So the Broncos move 5 yards closer to the first down marker.
But that's not a free play. You know, that's the thing. Because when it's unabated, you got to stop it right there.
So it's at the 19-yard line, 3rd and 8. They have to get to the 11 for a first down. 4 wide receivers plus Shannon Sharp. 3 to the right, 2 left. Lions show blitz and drop off. Plummer gets time, throws to the end zone. Chris Cole, did he come down with it? No, he was out of bounds.
Wow.
Great effort by Chris Cole, the 4th-year man out of Texas A&M. A good grab, but he came down 1 foot out of bounds.
That was close. That kid had a lot of confidence doing it. Take a look at his feet. He had control of the ball. Take a look at the feet. Pulled it in one. You see the other one comes down in the white.
Jason Elam, who's 7 for 7 on field goals this season, kicks this one, and it hooks inside the upright, a 37-yard field goal. And the Broncos have regained a 7-point lead. Jake Plummer's pass for Chris Cole. Grabs it. 1 foot down, 2nd foot out of bounds. Very close. But a good call by the officials. Mike Adore to kick off. Javon Coburn deep for the Lions. Coburn comes up to the 9-yard line. Follows some blockers, tripped up, gets up to the 30-yard line. NFL on Fox next week. It's a week of returns. Mike Holmgren returns to Green Bay with the Seahawks. Emmitt Smith returns to Dallas with the Cardinals. The Lions will be at the 49ers, the Redskins at the Eagles. Steve Mariucci returns to San Francisco with the Lions. What a week. NFL on Fox.
Mariucci was talking, you know, early in their schedule. You think about the schedule for the Detroit Tigers. It's been a rough one. It has. You know, Denver, San Francisco, Minnesota, and Green Bay. You're playing a lot of good teams with a young team and a team with injuries and a team that you're trying to build. He says it'll help them grow, though.
Landis Gary goes in motion. Harrington gets time. Short over the middle of Corey Schlesinger, the fullback out of the backfield. It's up to the 38. That return, San Francisco was wiped out in Minnesota today, 35-7, and the 49ers, after winning opening day, have lost 3 in a row. So they're struggling under Dennis Erickson. Steve Mariucci trying to build something here with the Lions. They have been in this ball game all the way. 2nd and 2, 3 wide receivers in. Sean Bryson in the backfield for the Lions. Hand it off inside to Bryson. And gets close to the first down line, but he comes up a little bit short.
And again, you know, you don't go outside on the Broncos defense. Although they tried to use a little trickery there, if you will. It didn't fool anybody because they got the speed on defense to compensate for anything like that.
And the fake end around with Oz Hakeem. Bringing in the chains for the official measurement. It'll be just inches, not even. Boy, to the chain link, there are a couple of chain links. That's all. 3rd and a couple of links.
Links? Did somebody say links? Up here in the booth? Hot links? You're always taking care of us. You know?
Always thinking about it. Bryson has rushed for 65 yards. Landis Gary for 21. They Javon Coburn 1 run late in the first half. Schlesinger and Gary in the backfield as the Lions try to get something moving. They're stomping their feet at the stadium here at Mile High. Quarterback sneak. Not much. Not much. He only needed a couple of chain links. And he got him. So forward progress for Joey Harrington is enough for a first down. The third quarter ends with Harrington putting his head down and getting up to the 40-yard line. It's been a close one. The Lions hanging in with a 3-0 Denver Broncos. End of the third quarter, 17-10, Denver leads.
Down line. See the yellow line there? You tell me. He should be downed right there, first of all. Mobley has him wrapped up on the ground. Then he extends over the top. See right there? He should be down. Now after that, then he extends the ball. I still don't think it's over the links.
But I don't think you rule him down when he's on the bodies. First down, Lions just short of the 40.
Things have a way of working themselves out.
Straight ahead, Olandis Gary. Good hole and a good run. Slips a tackle. And another. Flag on the play as Gary is shoved out of bounds at the Broncos 38. Let's check on the flag. Outstanding run by Olandis Gary. 22-yard pickup. Let's see what happened here. And that really hurts.
That's a big-time hole up the middle, too. And that's where they're attacking. Same place they keep attacking is right up the middle of this defense. And this is going to open a can of worms for...
Holding number 84, offense, 10-yard penalty.
Bill Schrader, the wide receiver, called for the hold. There it is.
Oh, that... Sam, I said...
Okay.
That's a sign of frustration. You know, if that's holding in this league, why don't we get some post-ups of offensive line play on every play?
First down, Lions at midfield. The penalty assessed from the spot of the foul. And that pass incomplete. Lenny Walls, the second-year cornerback, undrafted free agent last year, Bill.
And the reason being was he's a tall guy, very tall, 6'5", probably the tallest corner in the NFL. And when he went to the Senior Bowl, he wants to be a cornerback. Some people at 6'5" say, well, we want you at safety. He wants to play corner. Nobody ever taught him how to backpedal. But Mike Shanahan called him after the draft was over and said, look, I want you here. Will you come here and play for me? Shanahan thinks that... Go ahead.
Straight ahead goes Sean Bryson. Good run as they continue to stick with the run. The Lions have outrun the Denver Broncos in this game. It's been a strong running game for Detroit. They've stayed with it.
You know, one thing, getting back to Walls, is Shanahan thought he sees a guy in him that his athletic ability is so superior. He said, out of the top 15 guys who get drafted next year, none of them will be as good as what I got in this guy. And he considered him a real find and a real steal. But the big thing is, Sam, Friday was his birthday.
Yeah.
And he was all birthday about himself, wasn't he?
Here's 3rd and 3. Harrington being rushed. Throws. He completes it to Scotty Anderson. Anderson down the sideline. Picks up a block. Cuts inside. Fought off a tackle. Touchdown. What a run by Scotty Anderson. And look at the exuberance of Joey Harrington. He was being hit as he threw. He found Scotty Anderson, a 43-yard touchdown pass and run.
Sam, well, let's go back to the very top of the game. When we were sitting in here, we were talking, and the biggest thing about this game is it's a tweener game. And it's so hard. Here you have a team in Detroit that has struggled the last couple weeks after having tasting victory against Arizona on the opener. not feeling good about the way they've been playing, hungry for a road win.
Jason Hansen, bad snap, and they missed the extra point. John Jett lost the handle on the low snap, and the Lions remain behind by 1 point. Steve Mariucci just can't believe it. Bradford Banta, the long snapper, a low snap.
Well, and they gang up on Bradford Banta. You know, Bradford Banta is an undersized deep snapper, and Denver overloads a bunch of people on him and clobber him. He's going to get tripped up by the linebacker, but Scotty Anderson realizes this is blitz, and he flattens across here. And see the trip? Herndon isn't even able to come across. Harrington gets whacked by Sam Brandon, and it's a great throw, a great adjustment by Anderson, and the whole thing opened up. Herndon on the ground, big play.
Third career touchdown for Scotty Anderson. Jason Hansen kicks off. Chris Cole, 1 yard deep. Cole runs into a pile and then gets pulled down by James Davis. Flag on the play. We'll check it out. The Detroit Lions have not won a road game since December of 2000 when they won in New York over the Jets. They went the last 2 seasons 0-8 on the road. They lost their 1 road game thus far this season, and that was in Green Bay. And here they are hanging with a 3-0 Denver Broncos.
In the back above the waist, number 59 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty. First down Detroit, or excuse me, first down Denver, timeout.
Donnie Spragan called for the illegal block. Denver will start from their own 11 with the Lions hanging tough.
150, built Ford Tough. By Wachovia, together we can achieve uncommon things. By Subway, good so you don't always have to be. Subway, eat fresh. And by Radio, starring Cuba Gooding Jr. and Ed Harris in theaters October 24th, rated PG-13.
The difference in the game now, an extra point, Bill.
Well, he rolls this one back, he being Bradford Banta, because what Denver does is they stack a bunch of people right over top of him, and he gets blown up in there.
Broncos, a play fake by Plummer, in trouble. Chased by Wilkinson, he gets away and runs, goes out of bounds up near the 20-yard line.
Boy, did Jake Plummer really save that play. You know, you think about last year and Greasy here and not being able to get out and do those things. Watch this. He was actually contemplating going down here when he sees this rush in his face. Right there, he thought about it. He said, uh-oh, there's the goal line. I got to get the heck out of here. And he gets him back at least to about the original start of where they started.
He got him a first down up to the 23-yard line. Good run. Good run for Plummer. Another play fake. It throws to the back end of the backfield, Mike Anderson, and he's spun around and taken down up to around the 25-yard line by Barrett Green.
You know, Denver in the fourth quarter, this is, even when they play bad like they have today, or haven't played on all cylinders, they're coming off a short week against the emotion of Monday night and then Kansas City next week, but even when they play bad, right now is the time they take the game and put it away. And they're able to do that, I thoroughly believe, because of the home field advantage here and the altitude. I think when you maintain, even if you play really good and you can battle down to the end in the fourth quarter, that's where it catches up to you, and that's where Denver takes over.
I almost think the Lions can hold up. The draw play to Quentin Griffin. He dropped that fumble, still loose, and it looks like Plummer recovered. Jake Plummer got the ball back. Quentin Griffin fumbling after he took the handoff.
And I said it before, going back to the half, Denver is finding ways to shoot themselves in the foot. And it goes back to what we talked about this being the tweener game. And they're playing exactly like this is a tweener game.
James Hall and Dan Wilkinson combining to force the fumble. Hall's had an outstanding game for the Lions. Here is third down.
Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson punched that ball out.
Got to get to the 33 for a first down. Sharp in motion. Empty backfield, 4 wide receivers in. Plummer gets time. Throws, and it's incomplete. Jimmy Wyrick all over Ashley Lally. Broke it up. Lions with another good defensive series after Plummer had run for the first down.
And nothing seemed to be in sync there for Denver.
The Broncos, without Clinton Portis, have not been able to establish a run game.
No, they haven't stuck with it, in my opinion, long enough. They feel that they have the matchups with all the wide receivers on the field and the depletion of corners for Detroit. They keep on taking that route and staying away from the run.
Fourth one of the game for Micah Dorr. Dre Bly on the return. Bly from the 30. Trying to get outside. Brought down on a brilliant tackle. Donnie Spragan on the tackle. Take a listen to what it sounds like to get hit in the NFL. Lions from their own 32. Straight ahead, Olandis Gary. Not much there, maybe a yard. Detroit has rushed for 123 yards in the game. Sean Bryson has been their leader, 13 carries, 73 yards. Time for another, we were going to think update.
Sam and Bill, take a look at this bullet drill by Quincy Carter, hooking up with Joey Galloway. That strike, a 42-yard strike that led to a 26-yard field goal by Billy Condit. And it's Dallas on top, 17-6, a little over 4 left in regulation. Sam and Bill.
Thanks, JB. The latest update in Oakland, where Oakland's trying to get back in it against San Diego. Crowd getting loud here in Denver. Harrington play fake. Looking, goes short to Schlesinger out of the backfield. Fumble recovered by Walls.
Did he have it? Was it a catch?
A flag down.
Was it a catch? Did he possess it?
All right, the officials discussing it. That'll be the key decision. Did he have it? Yes. Ian Gold with the hit on Corey Schlesinger forced the fumble. First turnover of the game for the Lions. It comes in their territory. There's still a flag on this play.
Rolling on the field with incomplete forward pass. Receiver did not hold the ball long enough. Also, holding number 75 defense. 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Wow, does that take some of the life away from the Denver Broncos?
Well, it certainly does. Watch Corey Schlesinger, the fullback. He's going to come out. There's the holding on the back.
Ooh, I don't know. I thought
you know what? That's a possession, and I think they should challenge and throw the red flag. Take a look. Once he has it, as he turns upfield, ball is pulled in. 1-2. That is possessed. It's controlled. And the ball is hit and popped out. Throw the red flag, Steve.
No.
Or Mike.
Mike,
I'm sorry. Mike. I'm backwards. I'm all turned around. I got turned around watching the play.
The ruling on the field is incomplete pass. And the Lions get a first down on the defensive holding call up at the 37-yard line. Bryson, the lone setback. Everybody out. Harrington's pass too low. Intended for the tight end, Casey Fitzsimmons.
Sam, let me go back to that. The reason Mike isn't challenging, I'm wrong. He can't challenge that because fumble. You can't challenge possession on a fumble. But they could challenge complete or incomplete pass.
Well,
but it wouldn't matter because they can't change the possession.
That's
so if Denver fans are wondering why Mike Shanahan didn't throw the flag to challenge it, that's why. Because you can't challenge the possession on a fumble.
Here's 2nd and 10. Schrader in motion. Everybody out. And the pass incomplete. Rodgers, the intended receiver, but it was well covered by the Broncos. Bring up a 3rd and 10 for the Lions.
Boy, the Broncos really took one on the chin there. Yeah, they did.
They thought they had the fumble.
Sure. And Harrington and company, the Lions, they got away with it. You know?
It certainly looked like Schlesinger had possessed the ball and made a move with the ball. They're stomping their feet and getting loud for their Broncos. Out of the shotgun, Harrington gets time, throws, complete to Charles Rogers. And he's got enough for the first down.
Well, let's see where they spot this.
Right on the line.
That's why I got to bring the chains in to measure it. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Definitely Ron Blum waves the timeout.
He doesn't see the Fox yellow line. That's the problem.
Well, somebody did, and that was Charles Rogers, because he got to where the chains were. He got to where the first down was when he turned in on his route.
Philadelphia winning their first of the season, winning in Buffalo. Washington over New England. Washington 3-1. Dallas ahead late in the game at the New York Jets. First down for the Lions at the 47-yard line. Some nervous moments for Mike Shanahan. Charles Rogers, 3 catches, 52 yards in the game.
Denver's trying to rotate their defensive line. Now, on first down, look who they have in there. They got bigger bodies in there. They got Darius Holland comes in. They've got Pope, Monsanto Pope. They got Bryce in there. Bigger bodies on first down.
Flag on the play. Somebody moved too soon. The stadium very loud. This will be against the Lions.
A lot of finger pointing. The offense is pointing to defense. Defense pointing at the offense. Dominic Raiola just moved the ball.
Neutral zone infraction.
Whoa.
Number 90, defense. 5 yards. Repeat first down.
That's Darius Holland.
You know, you're not allowed in there. You get the crowd going, and you're trying, you know, for the offensive line, they can't hear the snap count. And then you get the defensive linemen in there flinching, act like they're jumping, coming across the line. You can't do that. You can't entice them.
Trying to draw them offside by moving and trying to pick out the offensive lineman. So the Lions get the 5 yards, and Harrington throws deep for Rogers and overthrows him. Delta O'Neal on the coverage. Nick Ferguson, the safety, came late. Well covered on the play.
Joey Harrington, if I can see one thing about him that has been continuous about his throws, a lot of his throws are overthrows. You know, all of them, they're always high and too far. He had a chance. He had an open guy receiver right there. And if he would have placed that ball where it's supposed to have been, you come up with big plays, and those are things that are going to come. Those are things that are going to develop as he and these receivers get time together and work and understand where each other is going to be.
3 wide receivers in again. Someone comes across. This time it's Reggie Hayward.
Before the ball was snapped, false start. Number 82, offense, 5 yards, still second down.
That's on the rookie tight end, Casey Fitzsimmons. Steve Mariucci likes him a lot. Thinks he has a chance to be a very versatile tight end.
Well, I bet he doesn't like him right now. that comes and goes by plays. If a coach likes somebody, he may like you one play, but he'll despise you the next.
Kansas City has won in Baltimore, 17-10. The Chiefs are 4-0, and they will meet Denver next week in Kansas City. 2nd and 10 Lions. Harrington with time. Throws, sliding catch by Scotty Anderson. Flag on the play. Back by the line of scrimmage.
You know, before long here, we're not going to be able to see those yellow flags because they're becoming grass stained. There's been a lot of them thrown out there today. You want to go chop again?
Against the Lions.
The chop block. Number 51 went low while another blocker was high. It's a 15-yard penalty.
Second time.
Second down.
Second time on Dominic Raiola, the center.
Take a look. I told you what happened last time is when somebody steps up on the blitz, if they're coming, Okay, he comes down to cut him, while Beverly picks him up. See, he's just responding to the stunt. He sees the stunt coming in him, and he decides, I'm going to take him low. Beverly happens to recover off of his tackle that he was out on and comes back inside. And it's not a setup. It's not like they're saying, hey, let's high-low this guy.
But why can't Raiola stay up and double-team him with Beverly, standing up?
That's a good point. He felt, you know, when you have a guy crossing a charge, you know the stunt games that Denver runs? Well, that was the end who came looping around. And he doesn't want to give up. Raiola isn't that big. So when he sees a charging defensive lineman coming at him, he wants to take him out low.
Ball's back at the 32-yard line again. That hurts the Lions. Detroit's 7th penalty of the game. You can see the frustration on the face of Steve Mariucci. Lions have to get to the Broncos 43 for a first down. This is 2nd down. Harrington being rushed, throwing over the middle of Sean Bryson. Gets away from one man, but not the others. He was chased down by Reggie Hayward. The defensive end tripped him up.
You know, you talk about the pursuit and the team speed of Denver on defense. Look how far downfield Hayward was. Watch. See 98, he's in here. Now watch him turn and get downfield. That's a defensive end, Sam. You know, you don't see too many defensive men charging all the way back downfield 15 yards to make a tackle.
There's a big 3rd and 15 for the Lions. 3 wide receivers in. Everybody out. Harrington being chased. Throws. It's incomplete. He bounced it to Oz Hakeem. He had 2 big defensive linemen in his face, Bertrand Berry and Trevor Price.
Well, that's your 3rd and 15. You don't have too many third. Look at it. There it is. Mariucci saying, "What are you doing? 2 chop blocks in a row, or 2 chop blocks in a game? Getting called for it? Stay on your feet. Stay up. That penalty killed us." And you explained it to him the situation he put him in.
Don Jett with a good punt, sending Delta O'Neal back to the 10. He let it bounce and goes through the end zone for a touchback. Big day of football now. Tuesday night begins big time in baseball. Postseason action. The playoffs begin. We have the Cubs at the Braves Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific. Game 1 of that series Thursday night at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees host the Twins. Game 2, the American League Division Series. We'll bring you all the championship series, American League and National League, and the World Series right here on Fox. We welcome all of you to Denver. Sam Rosen, Bill Moss, David Treadwell. Denver holding a 17-16 lead on the Detroit Lions. Going from the 20. Plummer throws short to Quentin Griffin. And Griffin gets up to the 25-yard line. His first catch of the game. For those of you joining us, Denver without their star running back, Clinton Portis, out with a bruised chest and inactive today. Jake Plummer has had an outstanding game. Denver trailed for the first time this season, 7-0. They took the lead 14-7. There's Clinton Portis on the sideline. Detroit looked like they had tied the game with a touchdown, but they missed the extra point. Trail 17-16. Plummer short again to Griffin. He spins away and gets a first down across the 30-yard line. Nice move by the rookie out of Oklahoma.
Well, you know, this is the perfect check down. They've hit it 2 times in a row now. Jake is looking, he's scanning the field. Watch his head, looks left, he comes back across, he's looking right, and underneath, he knows he has his check down there. Because zone is all that Detroit is mainly playing. And when you have that zone, you're dropping your backers deep because of the problems you have at corner with all the injuries. He knows his check down will be underneath the linebackers.
First and 10. Quentin Griffin turns the corner. Take it out of bounds. We welcome those of you who watched the Dallas Jets game. Dallas defeating the Jets in New York 17-6 here in Denver. Sam Rosen, Bill Moss, David Treadwell. The Denver Broncos 3-0 this season, holding on to a 1-point lead. Here in the 4th quarter, the Detroit Lions led early. The Broncos grabbed the lead at 14-7. The Lions thought they had the game tied when they scored a touchdown to make it 17-16, but they missed the extra point on a bad snap.
Plummer has been hot, but Denver has shot themselves or found ways to shoot themselves in the foot. Plummer has found 8 different receivers today.
Quentin Griffin, out of Oklahoma, gets a couple of yards. Close to the first down line. Robert Forche with a tackle. Here's how the scores have come.
Well,
Joey Harrington to Charles Rogers.
That's right. They marched down the field early and got a lead, and that put Denver in a bind. They had to find a way to answer back, and they did to Ashley Lee. And then to Shannon Sharp. They fire back again on a blitz play. Scotty Anderson finds pay dirt, and then Bradford Bamford, bad snap, and the extra point makes it a 17-16 game. Denver has had plenty of opportunities this game. They left a lot of points out on the field, Sam.
Yes, they have.
They've shot themselves in the foot a few times, and you have to expect that when you're coming off that emotional Monday night game and a short week to prepare, and a short week for injuries to heal, too.
Just enough for the first down for the Broncos. Late in the first half, Denver was driving inside the 20-yard line when Jake Plummer dove for a first down, but he fumbled the ball, and the Lions recovered. And they've taken a couple of penalties, which have knocked them out of scoring position. Steve Mariucci looking for a road win for his team, trying to get back to the 500 mark. They won their opening game of the season. They've lost their last 2. Broncos at 3-0.
Regardless of the outcome, you can see Detroit coming together as a team. And you also understand the mistakes they made and the downfalls they have from youth, but they're coming together.
Plummer throws incomplete.
Late
flag on the play. I don't know if that pass was catchable. We'll find out what the call is. Mariucci can't believe it. First indication was interference.
Interference, number 23, defense. The first down at the spot of the foul.
Otis Smith, and it's at the 45 of the Lions. Let's see.
Well, it's right on the break. Right there. See, they have a hold of each other, and then when they try to break and get away, he keeps his hand full of jersey. And when the ball's in the air, if your guys are still battling each other, even if you haven't gone 5 yards where you're allowed to chuck the guy, if the ball's in the air and you still have a piece of receiver, the flag's going to come out.
Lions have done a job of shooting themselves in the foot as well with some penalties. That's their 8th of the game. First down from the 45. Good play fake by Plummer. Rolling and running. Takes it out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Plummer has had a couple of good runs in this game. He'll take off when the opportunity is there.
Well, this is the only time in the game when a defensive end or an outside contained guy, which is going to be Boss Bailey, 97, right there. That's the only time everybody in the stadium can identify who he is and the mistake he made for containment. You become a kicker or a cornerback as far as it goes with playing those positions, because everybody knows who you are.
Tom Nalen, the center, and a key man on that offensive line, is shaken up down on the field. We'll step out for a moment. We welcome those of you who watch the Carolina Panthers and Atlanta Falcons. Carolina going to 3-0 with a 23-3 win. Here in Denver, Sam Rosen, Bill Moss, David Treadwell. Ben Hamilton moves from left guard to center. Cooper Carlisle moves in at left guard with Tom Nalen on the sideline with a foot injury. Play fake by Plummer. Steps up. Throws to Mike Anderson out of the backfield. Big gainer for Anderson. Down to the 23-yard line. Dre Bly tripped him up. But the Broncos move into scoring position.
Take a look at Jake Plummer, all the things that he does. And I say that's a perfect marriage, him and this offense. Watch him maneuver in the pocket and buy time. Just skirt around the rush there and stay in the pocket until he finds one of his receivers. We know he's mobile. We've seen Jake the Snake. But he is now mobile within a structured system. They pick to move the pocket. He's able to move in the pocket and free to run when he sees an opening. And with all the bootlegs and rollouts, it's perfect for what he is.
On the 24-yard line, it's Anderson. Stopped for a short game. Mike Anderson has been the key running back with Clinton Portis out. The Lions staying in the game. They've established the run in this one. Sean Bryson They've been running straight ahead for the most part. Bryson had a 29-yarder that helped set up a touchdown pass. Even Avon Coburn got into the act late in the first half with a 19-yard run.
And they've done it, Sam, by attacking the heart of a fast defense, and that's what you do, right up the gut. They've doubled what their season average is so far today.
And the 23 on second down, the play fake. Plummer looks at Barrett Green, throws, it's incomplete. Green was right in his face.
Boy, that right there on Barrett Green's side at the outside linebacker was different from Boss Bailey's side at outside linebacker. Because Barrett Green saw the bootleg coming his side and was in the backfield to disrupt it. Remember we showed you the last bootleg with Jake and how Boss Bailey lost contain? Look at that. Barrett Green does it. He gets a piece of drones on his way to Jake and was able to maintain containment so that Jake couldn't roll out. Excellent job.
Plummer has thrown for 277 yards, 25 for 33. Denver has passed 36 times, run 21 times. They have 4 receivers in. Detroit, again, has called a defensive timeout.
And Mariucci's you have to be disgusted.
Out of 5 timeouts that they've called in the game, 2 in the second half, 3 have been on defense.
And you should never waste timeouts on the defensive side of the ball. Now, saying that, I will give Kurt Schottenheimer this, that he is up against an uphill battle. He's trying to match personnel with what Denver is bringing in, and Denver switches every play. Their personnel changes, so he has to match those guys on the sidelines, whether he's going nickel, dime, dollar, whatever he's going.
Tuesday night, big night here on Fox. The playoffs begin. The Chicago Cubs are in, and they'll be in Atlanta for Game 1 of the National League Division Series. And Thursday night, Game 2 of the American League Division Series between the Yankees and the Twins in New York. Don't miss the baseball playoff postseason on Fox. We've got it through the Division Series, both Championship Series and the World Series on Fox.
Did you say the Cubbies are in?
They're in.
I'm meeting Chicago Dogs all the way out here celebrating.
3rd and 9. Blitz coming. Plummer throws, dropped off the hands of Ed McCaffrey. And here comes the field goal kicking unit. Good job by the Lions. So now,
Lions, when they've gotten backed up against their goal line, around the 25-yard line and in, have really responded well defensively today. 3 times Denver has been inside the 30, and Detroit has held tough.
Jason Elam 1 for 1 today, 8 for 8 this season. Trying to give Denver a 4-point lead. This will be a 41-yard try, and it's on the way, and it's right through. One of the great field goal kickers in the game, Jason Elam, makes it from 41 yards away. The Broncos have a 4-point lead, which means the Lions will have to go the length of the field and score a touchdown.
And Sam, again, the timeouts. You're going to need those timeouts on offense.
There was a lot of sadness in Detroit and around all of the United States this week when the word that George Plimpton, the man on the left, the man who wrote Paper Lion, the man who's been so much a part of American culture, passed away at the age of 76. It was only a week ago they had the Paper Lion reunion with the great Alex Karras in Detroit. Remember when George was in training camp? They made a movie out of it, starring Alan Alda. George Plimpton passing away at the age of 76. Here are the Lions looking for their first road win since 2000. They have lost 17 straight road games, and they have hung in with the Denver Broncos.
You know, with all the media and the bad things out there and how the NFL is portrayed at times, be it sitcoms or news or anything else, at that time and date, that book Paper Lion portrayed the NFL in a good light, and it showed what it means to go through the things and be a part of a team, and the ups and downs and the battles one has to go through to try to play this great game.
Mike Knorr kicks off. Avon Coburn deep for the Lions. Coburn from the 2. And the kickoff well covered by the Broncos. Reuben Drones, the one-time Lion, made the tackle. Lions have a long way to go They will start from the 20-yard line. For the Lions today, Joey Harrington has not been there completion percentage-wise, but he's hit two big ones. One to Charles Rogers, 33 yards, and then a pass and run to Scotty Anderson, 42 yards for the touchdown. Sean Bryson has run the ball well. Rogers, 3 catches, 52 yards. The Lions are 80 yards away with only 1 timeout. 3:08 remaining.
You go back to the first half, Sammy. You remember that defensive timeout they used and the offensive timeout they used cost them right before the half 3 points.
3 wide receivers in. Harrington looking for Bryson on the screen. Well covered. Mario Fatafehi, the defensive end, with a great play.
Boy, he sniffed that out. He sniffed that out. Watch Fatafehi. He's in here inside. He's playing over the nose. He sees it. He looks at the quarterback, and he reads it. He beats the offensive lineman out to the point that they're supposed to be at.
2nd and 14. Everybody out. Harrington rush. Throwing short to Hakeem, and he's brought down. Short pickup, Ian Gold. The linebacker made the stop just short of the 20-yard line. And now the Lions have used their final timeout. They have a big 3rd and 10 play coming up.
Sam, you know, and he knows the pass rush is coming, and Denver knows they're going to rush. They're teed up, they're coming, and the pass rush causes this play to end short. Because if he had time, he's going to find Michael Ricks all alone right over here. And you throw it right there, and there's nobody over to that side of the field. But because Denver has the advantage with the lead, with them not having many timeouts left, 0 now, they're just teeing off rushing. They are rushing, and they're going to play run on the way to the quarterback.
Steve Mariucci, who has taken a positive approach with his team, trying to keep them up, keep their heads up, keep working after the loss at home last week to Minnesota, when a lot of mistakes and big plays crept into the game. They've done a good job keeping the big play out of the game today.
Well, there's no doubt that they've shown a lot of people today that they are slowly coming together as a team under the guidance of Mariucci.
Here's the big 3rd down play. Caught by Bryson, brought down way short of the 1st down. Ian Gold leading the way with a tackle on Sean Bryson. So now it is 4th down for the Lions. They are about 8.5 yards away from the 1st down. We're coming down to the 2-minute warning, and it looks like Steve Mariucci will be going for it. Talking to Joey Harrington to come up with a big play to keep the drive alive.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by SVC. Ordinary people, extraordinary jobs.
JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy take you around the league with scores and highlights, analysis, and of course, the Fox ticker new and improved with the final stats. Here's 4th and 8 for the Lions. Have to get to the 30. Harrington throws. He's got it. Charles Rogers, his man. 1st down, Lions at the 32. They are out of timeouts. 4th catch of the game for Rogers. What a big play by the 2nd-year quarterback and the rookie wide receiver. Harrington fakes, being rushed, and hit as he throws. It's incomplete. Big-time pressure by Bertrand Berry. Came into the game with 4.5 sacks, leading the NFL.
Well, the stunts that the Denver pass rush is bringing to the picture. These guys are just running all over the place. They're taking offensive linemen with them. They're crashing down hard inside. They're looping guys around, and somebody's coming free every play. And for a defensive lineman, there's no better time at all when you know what the offense is going to do. You can just rear back and bring it.
2nd and 10. Harrington's been sacked only once in the game, 3 times this season. throws, almost intercepted.
Never should have thrown that ball.
Ian Gold stepped in front of Charles Rogers.
He was never open. Ian Gold was inside out. He had Charles Rogers doubled because they know he's looking for Charles Rogers. You saw on the 4th down play, he eyed him up. He looked at him all the way, and Joey's just trying to make something happen here. He's just throwing and hoping because he obviously couldn't see what was going on, or else he wouldn't have thrown the ball.
Harrington has thrown 3 interceptions in each of the last 2 games coming into this one. He has not thrown an interception today. 4 wide receivers for the Lions on 3rd and 10. Blitz coming. Harrington gets rid of it. Incomplete. Schrader was open, but he threw it high and wide. And here comes another 4th and 10 for the Lions.
Well, they bring it here, and why not? Zone blitz, they drop Bertrand Berry back into the flat, and that's where you wanted to go. You wanted to go to Schrader, because Schrader was dropped. Schrader had Berry out in the flat, and he had him beat. Harrington just threw the ball too high. And considerably, there's a reason behind it. He's been facing that rush all day. He knows these guys are rearing down on him.
Lions trying to keep it going. Everybody out. Harrington looking, throwing for Rogers, broken up. Lenny Walls and Nick Ferguson.
Game over.
Covering Charles Rogers, and a valiant effort by the Lions will come up short. Lenny Walls with a good play. The tall receiver, even though he looked like he was going down, still had the arms up.
And he was doubled again because Harrington knows who he was looking for. And so did the defense of the Denver Broncos. And after that last 4th down completion, when he looked at Charles Rogers and threw the ball right to him, since then, they doubled Rogers every place he went.
So the Broncos will go to 4-0, and they will meet up with a 4-0 Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City next week. The Lions will be 1-3, and will go to San Francisco to meet the 1-3 49ers and try and win one for the coach next week, Steve Mariucci's return.
You talk about a game next week, Sam, for the AFC West. The way Denver puts up points, or has the capability to put up points, offensively, all the things they can do, facing another great offense in the Kansas City Chiefs. What a matchup.
In the NFC East, the Giants have a bye week. Philadelphia got their first win of the season. Dallas won in New York, beating the Jets. Washington went 3-1 with their win over New England. There's the Dallas win. Today's game produced by Michael Burks, directed by Rich Russo. Associate Director Tom Yohe, Broadcast Associate John Morris. Technical producer Frank Phillips. Studio show produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. Studio technical supervisor Jack Simmons, senior producer of Fox Sports Bill Brown, the executive producers of Fox Sports Ed Gorin and David Hill, our statistician Emmett McGuire in the booth, and our spotter was Gary Lynn. On the Fox box, Ty Yohe, and computer stats Mark Sazda. For Mike Shanahan, his career 100th win, though he did say this week, tongue-in-cheek, he doesn't count the wins in Oakland, but they all count. 100 career wins. Denver defeats Detroit. The Broncos are now 4-0. The Lions are 1-3. 20-16 is the final. We'll be right back.
Got me the freak.
And T.O.
Who can make a play? I can.
Chiefs remain unbeaten with a 40-34 overtime win at Green Bay. We're scoreless here in the first quarter. The Steelers and the Broncos, Greg Gumbo, Phil Simms, and Armin Katayan roaming the sidelines, as is his wont.
Is he down there roaming?
He's roaming.
He is an excellent roamer. Right down there, got his suntan oil on this sunny day.
Watching out for the horse. So Knorr will kick it again.
A couple of big mistakes, the interception and the penalty where they had the Steelers backed up to their own 2-yard line.
Quite as good a kick by Knorr, but he gets the same kind of a roll. Randall L. chasing it down inside the 5 and out of bounds at the 10-yard line. 59-yard punt, 7-yard return. Steelers start deep in their own territory when we come back to Denver after this. Welcome back to Denver. Greg Gumbel, Phil Simms, and we were just discussing during the timeout that the start of this game couldn't be any better than it has been for Pittsburgh.
Well, it is for the Steelers. Just what they wanted. Bill Cowher said to us last night, if we could just stop all the turnovers, I think we could find out that we might be a pretty good team. In fact, I think my team might find out they like themselves. So that's been a big key for them in the first couple games this year. It's really hurt them the last two, and talking to the players and again talking to Coach Cowher, that is really on their mind. And Tommy Maddox, under pressure a couple times early, did not make a bad decision, so that's a good sign for them too.
You saw Ian Gold limping to the sideline. He was injured during the kick coverage, and Donnie Spragan, number 59, is replaced in at linebacker for Denver. Maddox and the Steelers start from their own 10-yard line. Zeraway for a couple of yards. If you were elsewhere early on in our game, this was Steve Berline throwing to his right, looking for it. McCaffrey finding instead Chad Scott, who returned it. And that turned into a Josh Reed field goal and a 3-0 Pittsburgh lead. To the 15-yard line, and a heck of a grab by Hines Ward because Kelly Herndon was all over it.
Kelly Herndon, number 31, starting today in front of Deltha O'Neal. What's number 31? Sees the quarterback and just gets all over the receiver, and this is the reason why he's starting. Mike Shanahan said, I just had to start him because he has played exceptional football for the Denver Broncos team, and of course, especially the defense.
What a grab under pressure by Hines Ward, 3rd and 5.
That's been the difference. In my opinion, this Broncos defense can play better pass coverage than in years past.
Penalty flags all over the field.
False start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Oliver Ross is one of those filling in at tackle.
Think about Oliver Ross. Let's be in his shoes for a second. He's backing up, going to play left tackle. Well, there's another injury to Todd Fordham at the right tackle. He can't play. They go, hey, Oliver, move over to the right tackle for us now, which is so. What a tough position to be in. And then going against the Broncos' best pass rusher in Trevor Price.
So now it's a 3rd and 10. You look at Denver's number on 3rd down. Maddox over the middle, hit his man out to the 30-yard line. Hines Ward with the catch and a 1st down.
That is just making a play under pressure. First, you have really good pass protection. What's the up front? Tommy Maddox, Hines Ward, he just sticks it in there. Terrific catch and a terrific throw. But it started with Tommy Maddox had the time. He had space. He needs both of those things to be a productive NFL quarterback.
Straight ahead out across the 30 to the 31 is Amos Zeraway. You know, Hines Ward told us yesterday that as one of the leaders of the team, took it upon himself to get up and talk to the offense on Monday. And he said he just wanted people to make sure we weren't losing any confidence.
Yeah, well, I think that always happens, Greg, and it can when you lose football games. I think it's just interesting. Here's a wide receiver. He's gone to the Pro Bowl, and what's he talk about? We got to get back to being what the Steelers are, balance, running the football, and that is really being unselfish.
Here's a reverse. This is Ward with a blocker in front of him. Tommy Maddox throws the block, and out across the 40 to the 43-yard line, Al Wilson with the stop.
Well, they faked the reverse the last time, trying to create a running lane up inside. The Broncos didn't honor it, so this time, hey, just come with the real thing. When you play the Pittsburgh Steelers, you know reverses are going to be run at you, screens are going to be thrown at you, and there's going to be a few trick plays along the way that you got to have your defense ready for.
Hines Ward can run that reverse. Antoine Randall L. runs it really well.
They can run it. They can throw the football. They're very, very versatile players.
Maddox, play action. Out here, in and out of the hands of Dan Kreider, incomplete. In fact, Ward and Randall L. run it so well, Mike Malarkey told us that Plexico Burris went to him and said, hey, how about me? So we let him run one once, and he lost 7 yards, and it's the last time it's happened.
He's not going to ask again. It looks like fun until you run it and you get smashed. You go, well, it's not so cool. But this Denver defense, new defensive coordinator this year, Larry Coyer, they're much sounder in what they're doing. They're not giving up the big plays.
Here comes another one. Lost the handle in the backfield. Hines Ward still dodging tacklers and now goes down at about the 36-yard line. And there's a penalty marker that flew in.
Well, you know what the old saying is, fool me once. What is it? Shame
Go ahead.
on you.
I knew you didn't know it.
Fool me twice, shame on me. You know, it's just, I wasn't even going to say it. I'm sure they declined the penalty. Well, let's go look at it real quick. The Denver defense, they're fooled by the first reverse. Now watch it this time as it comes back this way. Just watch the defensive players of the Broncos. Nobody overcommits. Look at all the players that are going to be there. He has no chance to get back to the line of scrimmage, even if he keeps hold of the football. And that's a sign of a defense that's well coached, very disciplined, and just doing their job. And that's all they talked about when we were here, because, Greg, when you were awake, you noticed when we watched film that we were really, really impressed with what the Broncos are doing on defense.
3rd and 17.
There's Larry Coyer, defensive coordinator.
Maddox. Ball slipped right out of his hand.
It's a fumble.
And that's a fumble, and it's pounced on by the Steelers. Veron Hayes fell on it. That is not the first and probably will not be the last time we've seen that on a Sunday in the NFL.
Oh, with these footballs sometimes, they're new. Early in the game, they're slick. Tommy Maddox, that's a fumble. Mike Carey ruled it. Bill Cowher could challenge it to get the field position back, but I don't think it's that important. Absolutely. Before the arm can get going forward, the football pops out.
Steelers lost 24 yards on the last 2 plays, both fumbles. Delta O'Neal back at his 35 for the punt. Nope. Whistles. Oh, now we do have a red challenge flag on the far side of the field from Bill Cowher.
Okay. Let's go back and look at it. Oh, slip. I tell you what, Greg, as we ran that replay, I can see the football when it's in.
The ruling on the field was a fumble is being challenged by Pittsburgh.
I can see that the football is shiny and slick, and I can see why it came out of Tommy Maddox's hand.
Whose responsibility is it for buffing up those footballs? We'll talk about that when we come back.
Leon, your reactions following today's devastating loss?
Football's a team sport, man. So, I got to put the loss squarely on the shoulders of my supporting cast. Look, man, I've been carrying these guys the whole season, but I can't do it all. I need some help.
So your 4 fumbles weren't a factor in your mind?
Not if one of those other guys would have jumped on the ball. Again, Leon can't do everything.
There's no I in team.
Well, ain't no we either.
Is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Friendly, nonstop service all across the country. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom. Schick Quattro, 4 blades and 2 conditioning strips for an incredibly close, smooth shave. And by the Chrysler Crossfire, dreamed in America, crafted in Germany.
We are under a review. The difference is 17 yards in field position.
After reviewing the play, when the quarterback's hand was coming forward, the ball was not in it. Therefore, he threw it with an empty hand. The fumble is the ruling on the field, and it stands. Pittsburgh will be charged with a team timeout.
Well explained by Mike Carey.
And one of the telling signs is Tommy Maddox goes to throw the football, it goes sideways. It doesn't even go forward at all. So that tells you he lost control of it early.
Quarterback's hand came forward. Therefore, the ruling on the field stands. A fumble. Pittsburgh is charged with team timeout.
What an eminently forgettable series for the Steelers. Kreider dropped the pass out of the backfield. Hines Ward fumbled the reverse for a loss of 7. Maddox fumbled for a loss of 17 more.
And to answer your question, the Denver Broncos are the ones that are in charge of the footballs, especially the quarterbacks, to make sure they're rubbed up, not slick or too hard for the other quarterbacks or their own quarterbacks to handle.
And it's very clear that that isn't always happening around the league.
It's a rule they need to change. Pittsburgh should have their own footballs for the game the way they want them, and the Denver Broncos should have their own set of footballs for the way they want them.
This is O'Neal. He'll let it bounce, pick it up at 33. And it's down just across the 35-yard line by Chris Hope. 49-yard punt, 4-yard return. It's still Pittsburgh by 3. People are playing fantasy sports on CBS Sportsline. Don't miss out on your chance to get in the game. Check out all of the great fantasy sports games and sign up for leagues forming today by clicking on fantasy at cbssportsline.com. First down for Denver. Rod Smith going around the right side, breaks free midfield. Inside the 40-yard line for a first down.
What a clever design by the Denver Broncos offense. The same holds true for the Pittsburgh defense as it does for Denver. We said earlier, they're fast, they like to attack, fake the reverse one way, and then go back to the original way. We saw it in practice, Greg. It looked wonderful, and it really works well here. Rod Smith, a tough receiver down the field, and he's a really tough runner with the football when he gets a chance.
And we welcome you to the battle of dueling rushing wide receivers.
It's a new thing in the NFL. You got to do it.
Berline running out of time, pulls it down and slides down at the 33-yard line.
Greg, defenses have gotten so good in this league. All you talk about, you know, someday we got to come on the air and go, you know, this defense is slow, because everybody's, hey, they're fast. This group's the fastest in the league, and it's all you talk about. So you got to find different ways how you can move the football, make the other side hesitate, make them be honest, and you do that most of the time with reverses to the wide receivers.
We're inside the last 25 seconds of play here in the first quarter. On 2nd and 5, give us the quarter, breaks through right side, inside the 25 to about the 23-yard line. 10-yard pickup and a first down. And with that, time winds down here in the first quarter. Only points on the board, the Steelers field goal. Denver threatens as we go to the second. That's the end of the first. The Steelers lead at 3-0. We'll come back to Denver after this. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Is sponsored by T-Mobile. Get more minutes, more features, more service. And by Wendy's new home-style chicken strips. Another reason it's better here.
Well, welcome back. You just said it, Phil. That is absolutely beautiful, isn't it? Welcome back to Colorado. Denver Broncos had scored 52 points in the first quarters of their first 5 games, the most in the NFL, scoreless in the first quarter here. And as we go to the second, Clinton Portis is stopped as he approaches the 20-yard line.
You know, Greg, early in the game I was talking about, we talked to Bill Cowher, and it's so funny. We watched Denver practice, and Steve Berline was throwing seam passes after seam passes all day long. And we talked to Bill Cowher, and he goes to us, well, if Steve Berline is the starter, here's the quarterback. He goes, he's going to throw passes up the seams. We know that. And we look at each other, and you can't help but laugh. It's Jake Plummer. They're going to run bootlegs with Steve Berline. They'll throw it down the seams. And we had to, because we saw so many of them at practice, and the Broncos have tried 2 so far today with no success.
On this drive, there have been 4 offensive plays. All rushes Berline to throw here. Throws to the far side of the field, and that's caught inside the 20, close to the 15 by Ashley Lallee, the second-year wide receiver out of Hawaii.
You know, I said earlier, and if you think back to last year, the New England Patriots and Oakland Raiders destroyed the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, spreading it out and throwing the football. Well, they got all that figured out, and they do such a much better job now. And throwing the football, even though people are hitting a high percentage, they're not getting a lot of yards with it. Yards-wise, the Steelers are ranked #1 in the NFL.
3rd and 2. Busting his way to the 11-yard line is Clinton Portis, and that's enough for a first down.
Well, Clinton Portis, he's heard all about the linebackers for the Pittsburgh Steelers, this run defense. They're big, they're fast. And what did he say to us, Greg? Well, that might bother a lot of running backs in the NFL, but not me. We're going to do no tricks. I'm going to run right at them, and we'll see.
Clinton Portis had so many good things to say. They asked him about a sophomore jinx. He said, I don't believe in sophomore jinxes because if you think that way, then you think that everything you did your first year was just lucky.
That's right. Good answer.
Portis trying the left side. They've gotten about a yard or so.
Well, he just met a few of those Pittsburgh linebackers that time. Too, it was kind of funny. Well, we had a good time. I don't see that he's in there right now. We talked to Casey Hampton, one of the middle guard for this Pittsburgh Steelers defense, but he talks about when you're on this defense and you're a defensive lineman, it's about protecting those linebackers. Bill Cowher, ever since he's been there, the stars of the defense are going to be the linebackers. There's Casey Hampton getting a little breather.
There's Jason Gilden, one of those star linebackers. 2nd and 9. Burline throws, touchdown. Shannon Sharp on the receiving end. Yards and the Broncos take the lead.
Shannon Sharp just used his skill and being a veteran, how he ran this route. You see that so many times. I'll explain it to you when we get a chance here later on.
The extra point is up, and it is good. 51 catches, Denver's all-time touchdown maker. 7-3 Broncos. Guy, the very reserved Shannon Sharp, doing something that has become a very common sight here in Denver, Colorado. On the receiving end of a touchdown pass, 7-3 Broncos. The kick is short, and Dan Kreider picks it off. He's up to the 35 and to the 36-yard line. 15-yard return, good field position for the Steelers. Nice catch and touchdown by Shannon Sharp. Dave welcomes actress Halle Berry, plus 5-time Tour de France champ Lance Armstrong in the latest Survivor Castaway. Dave is all new Monday right here on CBS. Steelers start at their own 36. Antoine Randall L. is that quarterback in the shotgun.
I think he's going to throw it.
I think he's going to run it. Dutch is outside. He has some yardage out across the 40 and out of bounds at the 43-yard line, forced out there by Nick Ferguson. 7-yard pickup.
You got to remember, Randall L. was a quarterback in college. So when they put him back there, he could do anything. Run it, run an option play if they wanted to. He did a lot of that in college, and he could throw it. But that just goes into the package, Greg, of, I don't want to say trick plays, but different plays that you have to be ready for when you play the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Tommy Maddox now back in at quarterback. This is Bettis. And Bettis out across the 40, almost to the 46-yard line. He'll be about a yard shy of the first down.
Greg, let's go back and look at the touchdown real quick. Shannon Sharp is going to go in and set, fake going back, and then go the other way. Brent Alexander, number 27 on the outside,